Hey everyone, I'm Gautam aka the Seek of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about astrology. Now, before I do so, I like to remind you guys I am available for coaching. So, I offer hourly, monthly, email, and DM coaching along with premium coaching, which is basically unlimited calls and unlimited DMs. So, be sure to email me or DM me via Instagram for pricing information and to figure out what plans may be suitable for you. I am removing the FAQ page simply because I want to ensure that everyone is getting the up-to-date information. It's so easy to read the older FAQ page from my older links, so I'm trying to remove all the FAQ links. So if you guys want the latest one, be sure to email me or DM me on Instagram, to understand how the coaching process works. So I also have a Facebook group. I upload resources from time to time, as well as you guys can ask me questions anonymously or directly if you wish to do so. Make sure that you answer the two questions and agree to the group rules. Otherwise, my moderators will decline you with feedback asking you to do the exact same thing. I also have a mailing list where I post articles from time to time, as well as my latest offers for coaching. And last but not least, I also have several different courses from the SP bundle, which consists of the manifest your SP course, remove your third party course, and 2 months of DMs along with 4 1 hour call sessions. And my latest launch is the self concept masterclass, which consists of 4 hours worth of lessons separated into 2 separate days, along with worksheets given. So people are already getting successes on that as well. So it's a brand new masterclass that I launched. So basically, you have access to videos and as well as worksheets to really dive deep into why self concept is important and how you can use it to enhance your life. And we will dive in deep with regards to self concept, with regards to SP, money, career, and even college, because I know there are some students watching as well. So if you guys need any information on that as well, be sure to email me or DM me via Instagram. So without further ado, guys, let's get to it. So even before I start the video, I guess one question that some of you may have is, where was I? Right? Because I didn't realize this for a while actually, but I think I was just scrolling through one of my videos for something to send it to someone, and I realized, like, okay, I didn't actually post a video in almost a month. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, yeah. And that really kind of shows like how busy November was for me, because I have been really busy. Like, I think that was partly due to the whole self concept masterclass and whatnot, because there was a new launch. There was just a lot of things to figure out behind the scenes, I guess. But aside that, I think I also needed a little bit of a break. With content creating in general. I think especially with YouTube wise, because, like, constantly churning out videos, it can be a pretty exhausting thing. Not that I was exhausted by that or anything, but like, I think, like, after the masterclass I felt like I probably needed a break somewhere. So I kind of went into a little bit of a hermit mode. So that's why I didn't really post a lot. Even if my contents kind of like went down just a little bit, quantity wise, I'm back on track in all platforms at the moment. So I'm glad to be back. And yeah, so if you guys notice, my voice is a little different because it's been worn out so much. So that's why it's a little different at the moment. I've been doing a lot of talking recently, so forgive me for that. So without further ado, guys, yeah, let's get straight into the video. Why am I doing this video with regards to astrology? Is because there was a content request, and I figured, you know what, why not? I do get this question time to time, like, hey, can you talk about astrology, and what do you think about it, and your thoughts on it? And naturally, given the context of it, it's usually brown folks, and by brown folks I mean Indians who are typically Hindus, right? Who ask me these types of questions about astrology, because those are the ones who really kind of get affected by things like this, because it really kind of plays a role in their lives. So if I'm referring to brown folks, just for the context of this video, I'm just talking about Indians who are, like, primarily Hindu, I would say, simply because it really pertains to them more. And I'll be just referring to it from that context, just to make things clear, I guess. um, So it was funny because like the timing of this like request couldn't be more perfect because coming from a brown family myself, like I'm not immune to any of this stuff, right? Like that's the thing I guess like people don't recognize is that sometimes because I'm from a brown family, I go through a lot of things that these people talk about as well, like parents is career expectation, for example, or astrology, what does that say, or any obligations religion wise, or anything of that sort. Like I go through that as much as anyone does. Like I have like kind of gotten my way, but like it did took a while, I should say. So with astrology, the thing was like my dad, actually, I think it was a couple weeks back, so he got a reading for me and things like that. And so he sent me a recording of that, like, okay, what did the astrologist say? And I remember like listening to it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not like I don't. It's not like I don't believe in this or whatsoever. I always believe that there are things out there, there are powers out there that we may not fully wrap around our minds around, if you will. So I don't fully disregard that, but at the same time, coming at it from a manifesting perspective, which I'll explore and expand on later, I do believe that at the end of the day, you can override all of those things. Like, yes, those things exist, but it is my belief that you can indeed override all of those things. So, um, this astrologer like said a lot of things that were like really really accurate about me, which wasn't a surprise. But he did say something that was really funny. Was he was like, your son will be really really helpful for the community in general, but when it comes to your home, he might not do much around the house, which is really funny. I was like, oh my god, like I think he just reinforced some old limiting beliefs there. But I felt like it was really accurate, and a lot of good things were said. So I was really satisfied. I was like, typically when it comes to astrology readings or even tarot readings or anything like that, what I tend to do is I tend to take it as a reflection of my mind, right? Like my state of mind, if you will. So if the readings were good, I will always see it as okay, that means my thoughts are in check, which is good. So and I'll just carry on with the day, right? I'll just say like, okay, everything is always favorable for me, and I'll just carry on with my day. I don't take it as a foreshadowing of what's to come. Like I believe that I still have the power to say no, not in my reality, if something doesn't resonate with me. That's the way I've always approached it, and it has worked for me thus far, right? Because at the end of the day, I always believe in, I'm the god of my reality, and therefore I'm at the helm of things. I control things that way, right? By intending that everything always goes favorable for me, and if I see something unfavorable, by intending otherwise, of course, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is because like oftentimes when I get people telling me, hey, this astrologist said XYZ, but I really want to marry my SP, or this astrologist said I can't be in this career, but I really want to be in this career or something, I'll be like, you know what, like if you really want this, go ahead. Like your state of mind is being reflected through the astrologer at the moment, but if you change that, like this has to pan out in your favor, so don't even worry about that, right? Like you don't have to take their words as final, right? And if your parents are forcing you to go and get a reading, or if your parents are reinforcing like, hey, this person said XYZ, 1 year in 1 year out, right? It doesn't have to be final. At the end of the day, you are the helm, this is your reality, everyone is you pushed out, so everyone has to conform to this. So you keep persisting in your truth, right? And the mind is really powerful. You are really a powerful being, and that's the whole point of your life, right? Is to realize how powerful you are, right? God became man so that man may become God again, right? Like, so I would always say this, like, if it's not resonating with you, you know that you can indeed override a lot of those things simply by assuming otherwise and by persisting in that assumption. So don't let that get to you in any way. I would really see it as a progress report of like, okay, how well my thoughts are thus far. And if it's not favorable, if the readings aren't favorable, just change your thoughts, change your assumptions, and it has to be reflected, right? um, and for a long time in my life, one thing that really, I wish it was the other way around, but like, for a long time, there was this thing where, if you're a Hindu, you would know this, but it's like basically like, you have 7.5 years of bad luck if you have like Sunny or something. And like that was always reinforced in my life, right? Like, okay, you have 7.5 years of like, bad luck or something like that, right? That was, I don't know when it started and when it ended, but I think it ended around 2013 or something. So so that means for like, say, since like 7 all the way till like I'm 14, right, or something like that, right? Like, or it could have ended a year early, I'm not sure. That means like I was always having that kind of limiting beliefs there. And I felt like, it was very detrimental, because I always kind of went back to that. Somewhere subconsciously my mind was still having those thoughts, and it was not a very nice thing. And assuming that you have 7.5 years of bad luck, like, or something like that, like it wasn't like exactly that, but like I know that it was stated something along the lines of like, you would have a very hard time. And fair enough, I did went through a very hard time since childhood. If you are a friend of mine, if you would know, like, childhood wasn't the easiest of journeys for me, right? It's not a hood that I would really want to go back to, right? So um, yeah, so it was like, it wasn't the best. And like I feel like a lot of it came from the programming that, what, it's going to be hard, brace yourself, right? Like, that was the kind of like messaging I got for a long time. And looking back at it, from a law of assumption perspective, it was like, well, I assumed it. It was reinforced by others, yes, but I assumed it, and the day I got pushed back. I mean, I didn't know better back then, to be fair, but like, now I do. So if my folks are going to an astrologer at this point, I have the choice consciously to reject it, and that's what I do wherever necessary, right? And I love taking tarot readings from time to time, like, from either YouTube videos, or just like pick a card or something like that. It's fun, right? Like, I like to do that from time to time, and some of my friends are tarot readers themselves, so I like to say like, hey, pick a card for me, right? I don't mind that. But where I draw the line is, if something is unfavorable, I just see it as, okay, this has to be changed, right? Like, I don't see anything as being set in stone, not even astrology for that matter, right? Because you can shift into a reality where the planets have always been aligned for you, where the celestial bodies have always been in favor for you, right? You can shift into that. So if you come at it from like that perspective, like, whatever that you're going through right now wouldn't be an issue. So don't bank everything, in this, astrology thing or anything of that sort. Don't, like, think like, oh god, like, this is it, like, what do I do, type of thing. No, right? I feel like, especially in like, like the brown culture, I guess, like, we tend to give an emphasis for what others might say, compared to our own words. And I feel like that's really, really unfair to us, be it in our career choices. I don't even have to explain that part, or anything of that sort, right? Like, don't give an emphasis to what others will say over your own words, right? Listen to your gut feeling. Like, if you have that desire, it means the higher self wants to experience it through you, right? If like the saying goes, right, your desire desires you, right? So if you have that desire, know that it's divinely guided. So embrace it, and keep persisting, keep assuming that it's already yours until it shows up. Like, it's not rocket science, right? Sure, if you really want to learn about manifesting in depth, you can, you certainly can. There's nothing wrong with it or whatsoever. But at the same time, like, know that, you know you don't have to really go in super deep into everything. Like, all you really have to do at the end of the day is assume a state of mind that reflects that your wishes have already been fulfilled, right? Assume a state of mind that reflects that your wishes already have been fulfilled, and maintain that state of mind and show up into the world as though everything has already been, like, answered, as though your prayers have already been answered, as though everything is already a done deal. And keep showing up as that person, until it hardens into fact, and that's it, right? And that's it. That's all you really have to do. So, if I were you, I would really, really just focus on this and, just keep going. And I wouldn't care about what 3D says. I wouldn't care about, if there's an unfavorable reading from the astrologer or something like that. I wouldn't like really take it to heart. So, yeah, guys, so that's all from me. So, if this video resonated with you, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Turn on your bell notification so that you guys will know when I upload a new video every single week. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy manifesting. Peace.